Have you spent hours, maybe even days, staring at the same screen on one of the big genealogy websites? You follow every hint, you trace every lead, and then nothing. You hit a brick wall. That one ancestor you know should be there has simply just vanished, and you're starting to think that the trail has gone completely cold. But what if I told you that the record you need, that marriage certificate, that land deed, that obituary that finally ties it all together is hiding in plain sight? What if it's just sitting on a completely free specialized website that you haven't tried yet? Well, join me as I show you 5 of these incredible websites that you're probably not using and could hold the key to smashing through your research barriers for good. Find out today on Trace Your New England Roots. Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome back. If you have been doing genealogy for any period of time, you know that it can be a labor of love, and it can also put a big dent in your wallet. Well, today we are going to talk about the 5 best free genealogy websites that you probably aren't using. Now, you may have heard of some of these, but many researchers overlook the powerful, specific ways they can be used. These are not the sites that you see advertised during the Super Bowl. These are the workhorses, the specialized archives, and the volunteer-driven projects that serious researchers turn to when the main databases come up empty. In my own research, these are the sites that have delivered those unbelievable aha moments, and I promise you folks, they can do the same for you. We are going to walk through what makes each one unique, how to use it like a pro, and the specific kinds of brick walls each is designed to break. And the best part, folks, is that everyone is completely free. No subscriptions, no paywalls. So if you're ready to breathe new life into your family history research, let's get started. First up is a giant in the free genealogy world, and yet many people miss its potential. It's the USGenWeb Project. Think of this site not as a single database, but as a massive nationwide digital library with a different room for every single county in the United States. And since 1996, this project has been run entirely by volunteers who are passionate about local history. They often live in these counties, and they know the local records firsthand, and they spend their time transcribing and sharing information that you simply won't find anywhere else. Now, the big sites are great for federal and state level records, but what about the records that never made it that far? Old church records, pages from a family Bible tucked away in a local historical society, or abstracts from a county courthouse that has since burned down years ago. That is the gold mine that USGenWeb provides. Using it is simple. When you land on the home page, you will see a map or a list of states. Click on the state that you're researching, and from there, you'll find links to every county within that state. Now, let's say your ancestor lived in Licking County, Ohio. You navigate to the Ohio page, you click on Licking County, and suddenly you're on a website that is dedicated solely to the history and genealogy of that one place. This is where the magic happens. And on these county pages, you'll find sections for things like obituaries, biographies, census transcriptions, cemetery listings, court records, and even photos. These are often full transcriptions of original documents. And I once had a brick wall with a third great grandfather who just disappeared from the census. So I went to the USGen webpage for his county, and a volunteer had transcribed the county's records from the 1870s, and there he was. It wasn't a record that was available on any of the other major sites, but a local volunteer had saved it. And that's the power of USGenWeb. It's genealogy by the people, for the people, organized by the most important principle: research. Location, location, location. Now, our second website is one of my absolute favorites for adding color and context to an ancestor's life. It's called Chronicling America. It's a project from the Library of Commerce, or Congress rather. In short, it is a massive free and searchable archive of historical American newspapers that were published over a wide period, generally between 1789 and 1963. So why are old newspapers so crucial, you might ask? Well, because our ancestors' lives were more than just dates and places. They lived in actual communities. They were mentioned in social columns. They served on local committees. They testified in court, and they also advertised their businesses. And of course, they had obituaries published when they died. These small mentions are often the only way to piece together their story. And when you get to the Chronicling America site, my biggest tip is to immediately click on the Advanced Search tab. This unlocks its real power, it lets you filter by state, a specific newspaper, and most importantly, a date range. And this is incredibly useful if you know that your ancestor died in, say, March of 1922. Well, you can narrow your search to just that month in that state. And here's a pro tip for searching. Don't just search for their name as an exact phrase. The text is read by a computer, so errors do happen. Use the proximity search, like find words within 5 words of each other. So instead of John William Smith, search for John Smith. This will find all the variations, like Mr. J.W. Smith or John, son of William Smith. And I found a missing branch of my own family this way by searching for the family surnames in a small town's paper. An article popped up about a family reunion listing every attendee, where they were from, and who they were visiting. It was a complete roadmap that broke down a 30-year brick wall. And it's a story that the other sites just couldn't tell. So if you're finding this helpful and you're excited to try these out, do me a quick favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it tells me that I should make more videos like this. And if you want to keep up with more genealogy tips, be sure to subscribe so don't miss what's coming next. I've also put together a link to a free resource for you on my Substack, so go check that out as well. Our third site is a it's a powerhouse that is revered by professional genealogists, but it's often overlooked by the at-home researcher. And that's the Allen County Public Library's Genealogy Center website, and it's based in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And this library has one of the largest family history collections in the world, and they've made a huge portion of it available online for free. The secret weapon on this site is a tool called PERSI, or the Periodical Source Index. And for decades, genealogical and historical societies have published journals and newsletters filled with transcriptions, family histories, and local stories. So PERSI is a massive index of over 3 million articles from thousands of these publications. And just think about that. These are articles about specific families. It could be yours, specific places, and specific records that you will never find in a general search. Using PERSI is like having a master index to the world's most niche genealogical magazines. And let's say that you're looking for an ancestor in a burned record county. A search in PERSI might reveal an article from back in the 1980s, or a newsletter where someone transcribed the surviving pre-fire church records. The index will tell you the periodical, it will tell you the date, and it will give you the article's title. And here's a pro tip. A free version of PERSI is available right on the ACPL website. And when you find an article citation that looks promising to you, you now have a target. You can check if the periodical is digitized online, request it through the interlibrary loan process, or even contact the Allen County Library itself, as they hold a copy of nearly every article that's been indexed. It's an extra step, but it's one that you now can use that no one else has. Our fourth website is the ultimate portal for uncovering hidden treasures, and it's called the Digital Public Library of America, or the DPLA. It doesn't host records itself, but instead, it's a single search engine that connects you to the digital collections of thousands of libraries, archives, and museums across the United States. So think of it as a literal master key that unlocks the digital back rooms of institutions both huge and tiny. So much of our history is locked away in local university archives, or state historical societies, or small town museums. So you never have time to search them all individually, but the DPLA does, and it does it for you. You could find a photograph of your great-grandfather's World War I unit from a state archive, a collection of letters that he may have written home by a university, or a map of his hometown from a museum, all in one search. To use it like a pro, think beyond just searching for the name. Use the DPLA's map and timeline features. You can click on a location and a date range to see what collections are available from that specific place and time. I mentioned that I had a brick wall in a rural county, and a DPLA search brought up the entire digital collection of a small local college. And in it was a series of oral history interviews from the 1970s, including one with a 90-year-old granddaughter of my brick wall ancestor. She told family stories that had never been written down anywhere else, and it was only discoverable. I found it because the DPLA brought that small archive into a centralized database. Our final website is the digital equivalent of a massive, dusty, forgotten library where untold treasures are waiting, and it is the Internet Archive. Many people know this site for the Wayback Machine, but for genealogists, its true power is in its collection of digitized books. The Internet Archive has millions of free full-text searchable books, and hidden among them are hundreds of thousands of volumes that are pure genealogical gold. County histories, city directories, compiled family genealogies, church anniversary booklets, and more. These are books that you would normally have to travel to a specialized library to see, and now many of them are searchable from your own computer. The key is to think beyond just your ancestor's name. It's a treasure hunt. So let's say that your ancestor lived in Buffalo, New York in 1890. You search for Buffalo City directory 1890. You might find a digitized directory that lists your ancestor's name, his address, and even his occupation. Knowing that he was a blacksmith or a railroad worker opens up an entirely new avenues for you to search. So also look for county histories, sometimes called mug books. Now, these were published in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and they contain detailed biographies of the prominent citizens of that county. So search for terms like county, the name of the county's history, and if your ancestor was included, you could find a multi-page story about his life. I once found an entire published genealogy of a collateral family line from 1905 just sitting on the Internet Archive, and it traced one of the branches that I was researching back to the 1600s with sources, citations. And you just never know what you're going to find here. So folks, the next time that you hit a brick wall and you feel that frustration setting in, don't give up. The answers are out there. It might not be on the website that you've been staring at for the last 3 days, but take a step back from the big name sites and dive into one of these free resources. The USGenWeb Project for hyperlocal records, Chronicling America for newspaper stories, the Allen County Public Library for its incredible periodical index, the Digital Public Library of America to search thousands of archives all at once, and then lastly, the Internet Archive for its library of hidden stories. You might be just one search away from your next big discovery. Well, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell so that you do get notified about new videos as we release them. And don't forget to check the description to download to go to the link on my Substack for the resources. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, and or if you also have looked at other sources and found another hidden gem to share, let me know. So until next time, this is Eric with Trace Your New England Roots, where history starts from your family.